Who the hell are you? And why is it 10 a.m. and why are you in my face? I am a board certified dermatologist, not that you give a crap, but you're officially a nerd and you landed in my space. And every Saturday morning we do a Pillow Talk Derm where we debunk some sort of myth, dive in deeper into an ingredient story, understand the skin condition, talk about the aging process, what you can do for yourself at home or in office. We basically cover it all. So it's 10 a.m., it's Pillow Talk Derm time. So get your ass out of bed, get your pens and papers ready, and let us dive in. This week, you guys voted. Over 4,000 of you voted on Instagram through my broadcast channel. If you have not accepted to join it, it is appropriately named Nerds because that is who you are. Over half of you wanted to learn more about how to layer your skincare routine because I understand that it is kind of confusing, and even if you are a veteran in the skincare game, you can always learn a pearl or two throughout the process. So let's pare it back and let's dive in, starting with your nighttime routine, because the nighttime routine sets the tone for your skincare routine. But before I fully jump in, when you're thinking of a skincare routine, you want to think of your routine as a weekly view, not as a daily view, because not necessarily every day you're going to use the same steps or the same ingredients. And we're going to touch on that throughout this video. So when you're thinking of your routine, think of your routine as a weekly view so that you are sure that you're incorporating various ingredients, various different types of treatments or solutions or products on your skin throughout the course of the week. When you look back after a year of doing this, you will see the vast improvement in your skin because you have been consistent over time rather than going intense, wrong and strong with that retinol and looking like a snake shedding every single day. So trust me when I tell you, weekly view, consistency over intensity is the name of our game. So the first thing you want to do, start with a micellar water to take off your makeup. Yes, you can use an oil cleanser because this is part of the double cleansing. Personally, oil cleansers don't mesh well with my skin, so I've always been somebody who stuck to micellar waters. Now, if you don't know where to start, just start with a micellar water and then figure it out. Test products, see how they work for you, because at the end of the day, it is an experience to use skincare and you have to figure out which is the best frog for you, because you're gonna kiss many frogs. So you go with micellar water, you take your makeup off. FYI, Bioderma, in my opinion, is superior. I've tried them all. I've even tried my baby's butt's micellar water from Stella on the face, thinking, let me give this a try. It was not great. The Garnier one should not look like the Bioderma one, but they look practically identical and I've been mistaken and grabbed the wrong one. I think Bioderma is the best one when it comes to micellar water. There's the pink cap for sensitive skin and the blue cap if you have drier skin. We can talk about it in a video in another day. Once your makeup is off, you go in with a cleanser. I use Vanicream, which is not great at taking off makeup, hence why I preface the step with micellar water. I'll take the Vanicream, I'll apply it to dry skin, and I'll usually just massage it in. Sometimes I'll warm it up, add a little bit of water to kind of get it working, and I'll try to break up any residual makeup that I have on my eyebrows, my eyes, my face, you name it, my neck. And then I'll take a wet washcloth and go in and kind of clean it off, followed by a light splash, so that A, my sleeves and my PJs don't get wet. And I truly appreciate, I've had a few nerds send me these for my sleeves. I have yet to figure out how to use them because they have not quite worked on my PJ sleeves. So this, I think, is an easier win-win for all, where you use a washcloth. Get 7 of them, each one a different color. Every day, toss it into the washing machine. It's reusable. You're helping the environment instead of just wasting it with cotton rounds, which I am guilty of still having, but I was gifted this by Clé de Peau and they're just heavenly, although there's a Korean one, which is a dupe. I am digressing. Number 2, once your face is washed, okay, and you have your makeup off, you want to exfoliate your skin. This is where chemical exfoliants come in. Exfoliating your skin is not the same thing as a retinol. Exfoliating your skin with a chemical exfoliant helps to dissolve the bonds between the dead skin cells to help your cellular turnover and your skin to look fresher. In the wintertime, as the air is drier, you may feel like your skin looks ruddier and more dull. Do not underestimate exfoliating in the winter. So in the summer, I might do it twice a week. In the winter, I'll go up to 3 or 4 times a week. And this is the first step of my routine on those nights because it basically sets the tone for the rest to come. I don't like exfoliating in the morning because you're gonna probably apply makeup and sunscreen and you're gonna be out and about and crap is gonna build up throughout the day on your face. So if you're gonna reserve a time to exfoliate, ideally you would do it at night. Important piece of pearl of advice that I give you, because a lot of people exfoliate in the morning because their makeup applies better. Of course it does, but then you're gonna be over exfoliating your face and inflaming your skin barrier if you end up exfoliating at night as well every single day. Number 3, this is the optional step, and this is an interesting step. So this is the step of misting or of essences. The misting thing is something more like this, right? Where you can make your own hydrating mist, like I make with glycerin that I buy at CVS. And I usually put it in the misting machine, so it's kind of a continuous nice spray and I use it throughout the day. I also have a mister like this, which is a manual mister. Now, essences are extremely lightweight. This is one by SK2. I've actually dumped this into this. I usually put it in a misting thing like this because I get way more bang out of it and it's really expensive. So I want to get as much bang out of it as I possibly can. So you can put a mist or an essence at this step of your routine because it is extremely lightweight and it's not going to affect the rest to come. Now, this is step 3, step 4, depending on what you want to consider a mist or an essence. I kind of lump them together. The next step is going to be prescription. So if you're acne prone, if you are using Dapsone, if you are using clindamycin, if you're using hydroquinone and you have melasma, if you're using azelaic acid and you have rosacea, metronidazole, cilantro, whatever prescription topical medication you have, I would use it at this step. The biggest exception to this is Tretinoin, which is the prescription form of retinol, because not everybody tolerates Tretinoin at equal rates or paces, and this is where you can learn to buffer your Tretinoin, i.e. make it slightly weaker, i.e. make it more adaptable to your skin. Stronger isn't necessarily better, and that's why I'm not somebody who is for an ingredient story, but with Tretinoin, you have to understand the percentage of what you are using so you don't blow your face off in the process. If you're not sensitive, use this first. Go to town, have fun with it. I would just avoid probably this area because you'll shed like a snake. If you are sensitive, I would not use it first. I would use the following steps and do it either after my serum, before my moisturizer, or after the serum and the moisturizer if you're extremely sensitive. The more products you put before the Tretinoin, the more you are layering, the more you are buffering, the less effective it will essentially be, but the less irritated your skin will be. Ultimately, I'd much rather you be less irritated because irritation is the death of your skin and, quite frankly, the gas to the aging process. Having inflammation, irritation on your skin is not a good idea. So once you've done your prescriptions, we go into our targeted serums. Now, within the serum step, I strongly recommend that you limit it to 2 or 3 serums. You do not need more than that. This is where multi-ingredient stories are very interesting. Obviously, I am biased and I own the brand, but the Hyper Serum by Pillow Talk Derm is a multi-ingredient story. I understand why it's tricky for you as the consumer because you have to have an understanding of the brand and a good relationship and honestly trust with the brand to know that they're giving you ingredients, not just at claim value, but at actual levels of efficacy. So very honestly, Hyper Serum is at higher levels. And if you're sensitive, it may be too strong, but always worth a test and a patch test. More than 3 serums, you're probably overdoing it. And I do not count retinols or chemical exfoliants as serums. So know what is in which product, okay? After the serum, we go in for the eye cream because the eye cream should go on first before any moisturizer. And when you're talking about eye creams, ideally you're using eye creams that are targeted. Things with caffeine, things with retinol. Yes, you can use your prescription around your eye, but usually if you don't want to think about it, eye creams with retinols tend to be lighter and tend to be less aggressive and less irritating overall. Things with peptides, eye creams with a purpose. If you have a lot of redness, I actually just use the Pillow Talk Derm Arnica Rolling Serum, the depuffer, around my eyes. Is it technically an eye cream? No, this is a gel-based serum, but if it's not very dry outside and you're looking for some instant gratification for whatever your problem is, i.e. redness, this would be a good one. But I use the creams for around the eyes in this step. Why do I do that? It's like using your underwear over your pants if you put it after your moisturizer. You don't do that. We're not Christina Aguilera from 2004 in her dirty phase, right? So you're using the underwear before the pants, and then you put the eye cream before the moisturizer. Now, moisturizer is the last or before last step. Moisturizer is where you're sealing it all in. Obviously, the Pillow Talk Derm Active Seal Moisturizer. So this one, I'm just talking about my product so you guys have a full understanding of my line in this video as well, but has vitamin C. So if I'm using the Active Seal, I will not use a vitamin C serum because it has enough vitamin C in the moisturizer, which gives me more room for exploration with other serums that can work with vitamin C. So depending on the type of moisturizer that you're using, if you're using moisturizer with actives, make sure that you're not double dipping with the serum game and the actives in your moisturizer. If you're using a basic moisturizer like a Vanicream or a Vaseline or an Aquaphor or whatever it is, basically then use stronger serums or use serums that have actives if there are no actives in your moisturizer. Now the last step is the one that usually is the most occlusive step if it is extremely dry out or you are extremely dry, and that is face oils or even occlusives like petroleum jelly, i.e. like the OG Vaseline, where you want to just kind of put it all over your face and let it all seal in. I am not a fan of face oils. Do I do this as a last step? Occasionally I do. I actually do not really use, I like the Skin Food by Weleda. I think I have it here. Weleda Skin Food is a nice one. I guess I haven't turned over my skincare from summer skincare to winter skincare in my drawer, but Weleda Skin Food is one that I usually like to lock things in the winter time. So that is something that I would recommend as a nighttime routine. It is extremely extensive. There are a lot of pearls in there. I hope you guys took your notes and you understood the order by which you should use things. The morning is much simpler. The morning is meant to be simple, effective, done, and out the door. Wash your face with water. Yes, wash your face with water. I didn't say cleanser. If you can avoid a cleanser in the morning, especially if you live in a dry environment or are prone to dry skin, you do that and you will see major differences in your skin. Now, if you have very oily skin, you can use a cleanser in the morning, but I would strongly advise that you try to tippy-toe around minimizing how often throughout the week you use a cleanser in the morning. Trying to see if your skin can acclimate to being less stripped and see if in the process you become less oily over time, because your skin therefore is not going to overcompensate in producing oils. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. But basically, if you can wash with water in the morning and a cleanser at night, you're winning. If you really can't, try to see if you can get your skin to use less cleansers in the AM. The second step of your morning routine is targeted serums. If you do not have a vitamin C in your moisturizer, get a vitamin C serum. If you are somebody who has a lot of pigmentation, get your kojic acid, arbutin, licorice root, i.e. hyper serum in your routine. If you are somebody who is looking for redness relief, you can use the depuffer. But get your targeted serums in your second step. And third, you moisturize. Moisturize based on your skin type in your climate. If it's very humid outside and you are oily, skip the moisturizer and just go straight for the sunscreen. You do not need a moisturizer. But if you are very dry or if you're relatively dry in a normal or dry climate, put a moisturizer. So try to gauge your skin type in your climate regarding the moisturizing step. And then last, always wear the damn sunscreen. If you're gonna be doing all of this, spending all this time, effort, energy, money, it's literally minute 14, and if you're still watching this video, wear the damn sunscreen, because if you're exfoliating your skin, you wanna be protecting it the next day, especially. Now, once a day, you're winning. If you reapply, you're a fucking genius, okay? You win honor roll valedictorian in my book, but at least use it once a day in the morning if you live in a city and you work in an office building or you go to school and you're not really baking in the sun all day or doing any sort of manual labor outside throughout the day, or you're not a truck driver or a car driver or whatever it is, because those people tend to need to reapply more because they're constantly exposed to sunlight. Now, going into ingredients and layering, I'm going to link below two very helpful videos for you, winning ingredient combinations and combining active ingredients. But very briefly, vitamin C, can you combine it with a retinoid? Absolutely. You'll be doing yourself a lot of favors if you combine it with a retinoid. If you are sensitive to the active form of vitamin C, i.e. L-ascorbic acid, look for a vitamin C ester. I have intentionally put one in the active seal. The ester form is known as tetrahexyl decylascorbate, THDA, and it is much more stable than the active form and less irritating and much happier when combined with other ingredients, which leads me to vitamin C and copper peptides. When you're using the active form of vitamin C, the L-ascorbic acid form of vitamin C, try not to use it with the copper peptides or even benzoyl peroxide. Because they like to function at different levels, the copper peptides or the benzoyl peroxide might inactivate your vitamin C. So instead, if you're using the active form, again, the L-ascorbic acid form of vitamin C, use that in the morning and use the copper peptides at night, or save the benzoyl peroxide for the shower before you jump in. Not all layered in the same routine. But if you're using a vitamin C ester like tetrahexyl decylascorbate, knock your freaking socks off. Combine it with copper peptides, simplify your life, and be happy. Because the less I have to think, the happier I am. You can quote me on that. Now, regarding exfoliating acids, you can combine exfoliating acids like glycolic acid for anti-aging, lactic acid for pigmentation, salicylic acid, salicylic acid for acne, but don't overdo it. So either the concentration has to be on the lower end of the spectrum, or else you're blowing your face off, depending on how you're marrying the acids in your routine. So if you have a lot of glycolic, lactic should be maybe a little bit gentler. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, separate them if you're very sensitive. Use some in the morning and some at night. Now, I did say I prefer exfoliating acids at night. So the one I would recommend for the morning would probably be some sort of salicylic acid in the form of a cleanser, especially if you are oily, because you cannot get away from using a cleanser in the morning. See what I did there? It's a win-win-win-win for all, okay? And I'm not contradicting myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, watch the videos below if you want to learn more about how to combine actives. And quite frankly, ask me in the comment section, because I'm reading these and it's giving me more to keep helping you, because the more I see the hunger, the more I want to help. And let me know how I can best help you so that we can all have fun on Saturday. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful Saturday. I will see you guys next week.